Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome. It is our regular Tuesday live stream. If you don't know, every single Tuesday we go live here at the Virtual Savvy in our Facebook group and over on YouTube just to hang out with you guys. And this is really an opportunity on a weekly basis for us to encourage you in your business. We want to give you the tools, we want to equip you, we want to give you the confidence that you can start a virtual assistant business. And so today, I'm very excited. I have some lovely ladies here with me, and we're just going to be talking kind of the nitty gritty, like the real in and out of what it takes to start a VA business, because each of these women have been in the trenches. They are the ones who have been launching their businesses. They each have their own story. They each have their own fears that they went through. And so this is going to be just like a fun time for us to hang out. We want this to be interactive. So ask questions in the chat. We want to like, what questions? Oh, if I could just pick the brain of somebody who's been there, done that. Like, okay, that's this opportunity right here. So before we jump in, a couple of quick announcements. If you guys don't know, you probably do. If you've been following us, you probably got like 100 emails from us. But the Savvy System is open. And the reason why we shout it from the rooftops is because it truly is a program that changes lives. And we've even said, you know, this has the capacity to not just change lives, but to change generations, really. And that's why we're so passionate about it. And we've had over 200 students join the Savvy System in the past week and a half. And it's just been so cool. There's already been people that have literally joined the course, and they've been posting some huge wins. Like, I talked to this person, I already have my first discovery call. And there's something amazing that happens when you put yourself out there. Now, I will note we have some amazing weekend bonuses. So it's just some extra goodies, some free courses that are going to go along with the Savvy System, and all the details can be found at SavvySystem.com. But those weekend bonuses are ending at 1 o'clock today. So just as we're chatting, if you've been on the fence about the Savvy System, remember, Pro and Ultimate have that 30-day money back guarantee. You can come in, test it out, see if it's a good fit for you. But this is really the time to get in on it, because those weekend bonuses are ending today at 1 o'clock. So I just want to throw that out there as a reminder. But the doors officially close at 10 o'clock this Friday. So if you're still thinking about it, that's fine. Our team is over there via chat too. So if you have personal questions about the course, just go to SavvySystem.com, and our team's there via chat that you can talk with them. Okay. Now, with all that out of the way, I am so excited to chat with these ladies, and we're just going to be talking about our stories, what it meant to each of us to start a VA business. So here's what we're going to do. I really want to take you guys one at a time. Let's just do like a quick intro first, and then I want to dive a little bit more into your story. So let's start with Tiffany. Tiffany, just let us know kind of what your business is and what you specialize in.
So I'm Tiffany of Tiffany Neves Virtual Assisting, and I started my business this January. Well, officially launched in February after joining the Savvy System, and I do social media management, and I also do admin tasks for business owners.
Awesome. And Liz, tell us a little bit about your business.
I started as Liz Morris VA, and that was July of 2021. And then in October, I pivoted and started Dirty Girl Ops. Nice. So we do... I've had some kickback from people that aren't my ideal client anyway. We do provide ops support for dirty operations. So mostly trades business owners.
Oh, I love that. Oh, that's such a fun name too. I was like, okay, I need the story. What's the story? But that's really cool. I love that. And then Bree, tell us, just introduce your business real quick.
Yeah, I am the owner and CEO of BC Creative. I started in July of 2020 and started as a general VA, and we are now a business support services agency, doing everything from the general admin all the way up to OBM work and systems strategy, systems builds. We focus more on like the systems backend side of things. But yeah.
Awesome. So here's what I want to know, because I feel like and let me know in the chat, you guys too, the questions that you have for these ladies. I think that a big thing that we all face is kind of that, okay, like is this right for me? Do I have what it takes? And just kind of the fears that play in your mind before you start your business, right? So I would love to like go back to that place if you guys can, like in your mind when you were first starting your business, like what was running through your head? What were the fears that you had when you were first getting started? I don't know which one of you guys would want to pipe up and go first. And Melanie, I mean, we have Melanie here too. And if you guys don't know, Melanie is our SavvySystem Director. And, you know, Melanie is there day in, day out supporting our students. But at the same time, Melanie had her own very successful Pinterest agency that allowed her to quit her full-time job as a single mom. So Melanie, I want to hear from you too. This isn't just for the ladies, because I think that, you know, each one of you guys' stories is important. So yeah, does anybody want to pipe in and go first? Kind of bring us back to those beginning days.
I can go first. Oh, go, Melanie, you go.
No, I just figure I haven't. Hi, everybody. I'll jump in and share real quick that when I first started, it wasn't a fear that I could do it. It was a fear of, is this just another thing that I'm going to start and then not want to do anymore, where I'm just going to start and be like, this isn't for me. And because I have a tendency to go all in and then just feel like it's another thing. But I knew in my gut that I was like, this is it. This isn't just an MLM. This isn't just another thing. This is an opportunity to create the life that I always knew that I could.
That's awesome. Bree, did you have some of those same thoughts?
Yeah, I knew that I could do it. And I knew I had the skills. Mine was kind of more of a, I can't afford not to. So July 2020, you know, that was COVID. Obviously we're still in COVID, but like that was the kind of, we were still in like 14 days to flatten the curve kind of time.
COVID.
But I was let go of my job in March of 2020. I had just been back to work 2 months from maternity leave. So like we had just gotten back into routine, and then COVID happened. I got laid off, and I was like, and my background is in sport event management, and there were no sports and there were no events. And I was like, I don't have a career path like at all for the foreseeable future. And this is, I've talked a lot about, if you guys have seen like my Savvy Vault lives with the courses that I've done, but I talk about this a lot, that I basically took pen to paper and wrote down everything that I actually liked to do in all the jobs that I ever had. And I kind of came up with, I could probably do this. And I think I stumbled upon somehow Abby's stuff, and I literally consumed every single YouTube video and every single like free thing I could find. And I was like, to answer Marissa's question, I'm an Enneagram 1, and I'm kind of like a mix of introvert, extrovert, but like I need to have a plan. Like I can't just like wing it. Like I have to do things the right way. And so I was like, I need someone who knows what they're doing to kind of just guide me, and then I can take it from there and put my own spin on it. And that's kind of how I'm 2 years in, and with no stopping. So there's no end in sight, and it's only up from here, which is really, really cool.
Can I have you brag on your business a little bit? Tell us a brag.
This is actually a really cool one. I am 33 weeks pregnant. And I have a team in place and the money in place to I'm taking an 8-week maternity leave, fully paid. I could take 12, but I am a control freak and I want to get back to my business. So that is what I've done in 2 years, is I have set myself up with like no savings, nothing to start out with. Like I didn't have like money. I didn't get a loan or anything to start my business. This is all from what I have built in 2 years. 8-week fully paid maternity leave with a team running my company while I'm gone.
Oh my gosh. Everybody give me some congratulations in the comments, because that is seriously a huge accomplishment. Congratulations. And we had lost Tiffany for a second. I think we have her back. Maybe not. Oh, I think she's having internet troubles. But yeah, seriously, that is such a huge accomplishment. Wow. Congratulations. And I guess when you found out you were pregnant, that was probably became one of your goals pretty quickly, right?
Yeah, we had been like hoping to, we were trying and making, we were planning to have a second kid. And so once I got pregnant, I was like, okay, let's put the pieces in place. So I've been training someone since February. And so like, it's just getting the foundational pieces. Yeah. And through that, I've had this year has been insane with pregnancy and a 2.5-year-old. We've had 2 over 10K months. We've had record months. I will hit my 2021 year-to-date revenue like next week.
Oh my God.
So it's been a crazy amount of firsts and wins this year in a really, really hard year. So it is possible, I promise. And I'm going to go off my soapbox now and give it to someone else.
Oh my gosh. No, we love your soapbox. This is so good. I think people need to hear this too. Like, I think people need to hear, like, yeah, I had my doubts. I had my concerns. I was in a tough situation, but here's what can happen. And that's what we want people to see and experience. So your story is so, so powerful. Tiffany, we have you back.
Yes, I'm back.
Yeah. So we're just kind of talking about that first initial fear, you know, like what fears did you have when you first started your business? What was kind of going through your brain when you were deciding, is this for me?
Well, the first is really similar to Melanie. I was like, am I going to start this and I'm not going to love it and I'm just going to quit and I'm going to give up? And the other thought is, I think what a lot of us struggle with is that inner, like, am I good enough to do this? Am I good enough to really pull this off? And so I had to really dig inside myself and go, I am good enough to do this. And I am worthy because, you know, I've been a stay-at-home mom for 5 years. So I'm like, I'm worth the expense of investing in this course. I'm worth the time I'm going to put into it and get the results for my family. I'm worth it and I'm going to do it. And it was a battle. I actually didn't sign up until about an hour before it closed.
Wow.
Same.
Yeah.
What was the biggest thing running through your head in that last, like, click, I'm going to do it?
I was actually already in bed and I'm going to be so mad at myself. I have to wait 6 months because imagine where I could be in 6 months. And now I can't even imagine where I am. I actually just shared recently with Melanie that I booked a trip to Vegas as a celebration for all my success to meet my favorite authors, which that would have never been an option before. And I'm going by myself, like totally out of my comfort zone. But I took being bold into every aspect of my life. And I'm like, I'm celebrating my business. I'm going to do this for myself. So this is a huge year for me. It's been completely life-changing.
Come on, that is amazing.
Tiffany, I wore my Be Bold necklace because I'm like, it's my little, like, hold it close.
I have my mug.
Oh, yeah, it's like your rally cry.
And Liz, tell us, what do you need to do in order to get that Be Bold necklace?
Hustle. No. You guys know I have no filter. Geez, was that my first 10K? No, I don't even remember. Yep,
I think
that was my first 10K.
That's it. First 10K month. That's
yeah. So you get swag for different, like, milestones that you hit in your business. Like, we want you to celebrate, but we want to celebrate you too. So we actually, when you hit your first 10K month, you get that necklace. So congratulations to Liz for that. Liz, tell us, like, in the beginning, what were the fears that you were having?
So my short backstory is, I am sole parent to 5 kids left at home. I was a stay-at-home parent for 16 years and then went through an unexpected disaster of a divorce and COVID at the same time. And my biggest fear was, what if I can't do this? Like, what if I can't make enough money to support my tribe? And then I was worried about, what if I make a mistake and I mess up someone else's business, right? It's not just mine, it's someone else's. And what if I get asked to do something that I don't know how to do? And now I laugh at all of those because I'm like, I make mistakes all the time and it's okay. And I get asked to do things all the time I don't know how to do. And I either decide I'm going to learn how to do this, or I decide to say, that's not something I'm going to do. Let's help you find someone who will. But those fears seem funny at this point, right? But they were real. I'm a perfectionist, and making a mistake that affects someone else, it's a big thing for me. And now I'm like, I've done it so many times and nothing has burned to the ground. So
I think that is part of that whole, like, be bold mantra that we say a lot, is like, being bold is like I'm going to be boldly imperfect, and that's okay. I think that the biggest fear that most of us have when we start working with clients is like, I'm going to make a mistake. I'm going to mess this up somehow. And the reality is that yeah, like at some point you are going to make a mistake, and there has to be a boldness that goes along with it, that like, okay, my worth isn't tied to if I make a mistake or not. Like, even like worst case scenario, I make a mistake and that client lets me go, like I'm still valuable. I still have skills. Like I still can do this. And we learn along the way, you know, we get better as we go. Like, how many of you guys have made a mistake in your business so far? Yep. Me too. Probably today, right? Like, and I think that it's like the people that decide, you know what, like I'm gonna keep going. Like, being successful in business is not about doing it perfect. It's not about making all the right steps. It's literally just the people who keep going. So, okay. Brag on yourself a little. We have to get a brag from each one of you. We've heard Bree's and Tiffany's. What's your brag?
Oh, geez.
Come on.
My brag, it would be taking all 5 of my kids and my best friend on a cruise last month, which we have never, like, I'm a simple girl from a trailer on the side of a mountain. Like, and I mean that, taking us and my best friend on a cruise and taking that time off the business, nothing fell apart. I mean, there are bumps, but they probably would have been bumps if I was here. It was our first vacation, and like, I think in my whole life. We talked about it, and I'm pretty sure it's the first vacation I've ever taken. So
yeah. Oh my gosh. That's a big deal.
When you say life-changing, I'm over here like, oh.
Oh,
yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Let me, we've got, okay, I'm crying now. I'm fangirling over you all, just so you know, like, this is awesome. Yeah. I love this. You fail fast, you get up and you learn from it. Boom. Yeah. It's like this whole attitude that I think comes, like, signing up to be an entrepreneur. Like, it's not easy. Like, don't let anyone tell you that it's easy, but like, it's worth it. It's so worth it. So, yeah. And that's what I'm seeing with all of your wins. It's like, yeah, we've got that 10K necklace. We've got this celebration. But when I say, what is your wins? It's like, this is the freedom life. The freedom life is getting to run my own business and take this leave to go to Vegas, to go on that, like that. Oh, it's what we're all about. I love it. I love it. So let's let me hear your impressions, because we are talking, you know, about the Savvy system also. And I would love to hear, and just so you guys know, Savvy system, it is open still, you know, and this course, and I even said this before we jumped on the call. I was like, you know, what I want people to know today is not even like that you have to take this course to be successful, because I want you guys to hear, like, that's my heart. Like, I don't, like, there's people who have done this without the course. Like, I'm not, but what, for me, the reason why we have it is because it is that step-by-step solution for people who are like, oh, I'm going to miss something, who just need that linear path. And do I believe you can do this without the Savvy system? Yes. Do I believe that you can do it faster and better with the Savvy system? Yeah, because it's all the tools and the resources that you need to get started. So I would love to hear kind of your experience with the course. Like, this is Savvy's tell all. So like, it's okay if there was like a part that you were like, oh, this part made me nervous. Like, I think it's good for people to hear like your first real reactions to the course and the content and the community and all of that. So I don't know if we want to start back with Bree again, or whoever wants to go.
Yeah, we can just keep it same order. I feel like the best way to describe the Savvy system is it's like a springboard. Like, yeah, you could jump in the pool by yourself, but your jump is going to be that much further if you use a springboard or a diving board, whatever. And it really, like, it does give you, instead of you researching for hours and hours and hours to figure out, like, or going in and making those mistakes, not necessarily with clients, but like, ooh, maybe I don't want to do that. Or like, ooh, I just realized that client's not good for me, and I spent all this time and I wasted all this time. The system really does give you that, like, catapult, like, okay, this is what you can do. Instead of like, my favorite thing was software. Like, instead of like trying to fumble through software you've never heard of like for project management and accounting, like, there are actual, like, these are the ones that we recommend because they are tried and true. And so like that, it really just narrows down the amount of information. It's not as information overload. So you can get going faster. Like, I think I probably finished in maybe 2 months. And I had a return on investment by, I think I was fully booked. I started in July and was fully booked by, I think, October.
Wow.
So, I mean, it really is. And I would not have been able to do that. And I wouldn't have had the confidence either to like, okay, I can do this. Like, it's terrifying. I mean, it is. I'll be honest. Sometimes I'm still terrified. I mean, I'm getting over that a little bit, but it's like sometimes I forget and I like haven't looked up in a while to like see where I've been. And it's like, oh, you're doing this. Like, this is not a hobby. This is not like what Melanie said. Like, it's not just some new thing. Like, this is a legit business and it's been running for 2 years. And it's like, that would not have happened without the Savvy system. Like, I would be way back still in like smaller months and struggling and all that self-doubt and everything if I hadn't had that springboard.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, you still got to put in the work. Like, it doesn't happen. Like, I will say, it's not easy, but I think that, like, for me, I feel like the course is I'm taking off the part where I have to worry about what to do next. It's kind of like, that's all laid out for you. So like, you're still going to have like the emotional, like, oh, can I do this? Like the fear. And I mean, we have support, you have other people alongside you, but like, you still have to go and do the thing. You know, it's like, all right, post this social media image announcing your business. Like, you still have to be the one to like, click. Yes, I'm doing it. And that takes boldness, you know, but as far as the what to do next, it is all of that. So thank you for sharing that. Tiffany, I'd love to hear kind of what your initial reactions were. And I'll say this too, like, you guys, I really want to get you guys asking questions. So everybody watching, like, if you're just like, oh, and it can be for everybody, it can be for one specific person, like, you know, what questions, what is stopping you, either from taking the course, from starting your business, from announcing your business. Like, let us know where you're stuck, and what questions you have for these ladies to help get you over that place, because that's what we're here for. Tiffany, tell us about your experience, like, kind of with the course. What were your first reactions, struggles, whatever?
Yeah. So when I first logged in, it was like a little bit of information overload. So I was like, oh my gosh, it's all here. But at the same time, that's exactly what I wanted, because previously I had tried to launch a VA business on my own, watching different YouTube videos and tutorials. And it kind of felt like I would get one information, then it would contradict itself. And I just never felt confident. I didn't feel like things were making sense. And once I went into the SavvySystem, it was like it was all there. And then the best part was a support. It still is a support in the Facebook group, because when you're starting your own business, you kind of feel like you're going crazy a little bit, because it's just all over the place. It's intense. It's not like you're starting a new job where like you have someone you can go to. So this is the support like you would have if you're starting your own job, because you can bounce off people who have been there, who are currently going through it. So I think it is the best thing. And if you think you can't do it, you can absolutely do it. The only thing that's stopping you is you. But I will say, if you think you can't do it, you're right. You can't. You have to know you can do it and push through the fear.
So good. Oh my gosh, I love it. All right, Liz, your first reactions.
I'm type A. So my first reaction was, this is exactly right. Because I very much like all the things well organized. I very much like a clear path. And I was thinking that the Savvy system for me, I do a lot of cooking. And so for me, it was like a clear recipe. Like, we've all made probably chocolate chip cookies, right? Or close to all of us. And so when I think like, okay, if I woke up the next morning and wanted to make chocolate chip cookies, I've made them enough times and I sort of know what needs to happen, what ingredients and what order, right? But if I tried to do that without a recipe, it's going to take me longer and the result's going to probably not be the same quality, right? Versus grabbing that recipe and just following the instructions. I still have to do the work. I can't just read the instructions and end up with magic cookies, but the results are faster and better. And that was the difference for me. So I actually found the system on X. Well, I didn't find it. My friend did. I had come out of COVID. I have long COVID, so I've been wrestling with illness for years at this point. I first got it in March of 2020, and I had spent, so I joined in July. So I had been months of like actually some pretty critical medical situations, and I had like zero confidence between that and my marriage falling apart. I was at ground zero, and my friend was like, I think you might be able to do this around your naps, because I was taking multiple naps a day and then hustling on the side to try and figure out how we were paying the bills. It was a bad spot. And being able to open the SavvySystem and go to the next module, it was like one less decision I had to make. And the other piece of it for me that's phenomenal is I never felt I was being told how to do something. I was just given direction on what the next step was, because we're all different. And so I could take an instruction and be like, oh, okay, this is the next step. What does that look like for me? So it's like my own spice added to the mix, which let me feel like I was building a business that's authentically me, which was really important in the spot that I was in.
So good.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry that you've had to go through all that, but I mean, that's seriously, it's that everyone has like the thing, right? Like,
yeah,
it might not be as bad as what you went through, but there is kind of this like, is this going to work with this? Like
I think that's why I share, because there's this challenge of like, sometimes, at least for me, when I joined, I saw people being successful and I was like, oh, they must not be having the struggle I'm having, right? They must not be dealing with all this stuff on the peripheral. And it's not true.
Yeah. There is a really good question that I think, Melanie, maybe you can answer. I don't know if you saw it. One of our users asked, okay, so Liz is a type A. Any other ladies have advice for type B people? If you say you're more type A or type B. I'm probably more of a type B. I'm not as I'm not as organized. Like I leaned toward more creative services. So, and I want to hear from Melanie too, but the beautiful thing about virtual assistants is that we call it an umbrella term, right? Because there's so many services that can fall into it. And so a lot of times there's more administrative services, online business manager, executive assistant, doing even sometimes like more technical things that you can do, right? But then there's more creative services too, like social media or Pinterest or Instagram. And I think that's what I love about it, is that it doesn't matter if you're introvert, extrovert. It doesn't matter if you've got 40 hours a week or 10 hours a week. It doesn't matter if you are type A or type B, like you can find your specific niche inside of it. So Melanie, what's your experience with that? Because you're more like me, right?
Yes, absolutely. I am not a naturally organized or self-disciplined person.
Nope.
I like to go where it's fun. And I don't always like to go like, oh, now I have to, do the tasks. And I'm a big picture thinker, and getting in the details has always been a little bit more of a struggle for me. So that was part of the fear too, starting a VA business. Am I going to be able to do this? But when you keep your why in mind, when your why is greater than your fear of getting the things done, it's worth it. And what I have to remember is intentionality. And sticking to my routine. That's something that's really helped me a lot. So every day I wake up and I look at the tasks that I need to do. And if I look at all the tasks, I get overwhelmed. So I pick, 2 or 3 that I have to accomplish that day. And I'm really intentional about how I spend my time. And I actually even set timers for myself to keep myself on track. And that's how I've been able that's how I was able to grow my business, is not by not by all the details, by being intentional and leaning into my strengths instead of being fearful of my weaknesses.
Yeah. Such a good point. I think that, and that's the thing, there's going to be parts of the business that are harder. And it's like now eventually you can hire out some of the things that you're not as good at, right? Like I was a huge fan of that. I was like, let me hire other people to do the things I'm not good at, but you can't do that in the very beginning for most of us, right? Because you have to have like some money coming in to start hiring. So I think that, if you are somebody that is more of a creative brain, then you're probably going to be like thinking of all the marketing ideas for your own business and maybe want to do more creative services, and more the admin is going to be like, all right, I've got to practice and flex some self-discipline to like send the invoice, do the thing, right? Like that was always more my struggle. And I had to apply the discipline there. And then there's the people who are more like admin that you're like, okay, I can set up my SOPs. I've got my ops systems. This is the contract, and then this will send, and it's all like nice and pretty. And we'll have to be like, are you marketing? Like, get out there, tell people about your business. Like, and that's where you're going to have to flex the discipline muscle a little bit more, is like on the creative side of it, right? And I think that is part of the value of the community, is that you can kind of like, okay, like who's going to hold me accountable, or I need some more like, I've gone through the marketing section and I just need to like get out there and do it, or I need some creativity behind this post that I'm thinking about doing or something. So I do think that there is a little bit of it. A little bit of it that is that two-sided coin. I really like this question. If you're lost at the beginning, how do you identify your strengths and lean into them? Because we're talking a lot about, I think each one of you have built a business around your strengths, really, which is what we emphasize. It's like, it's not a cookie cutter. Like, it's like, Liz, you get the chocolate chip recipe, and Tiffany, you get the peanut butter recipe, and Bree, you get the sugar cookie recipe, right? Like it's like a recipe, but there is we really emphasize that there isn't one set way to do it, that we want you to determine your own strengths and your own strategies and your own kind of way. And we give you options of like, okay, you might like this, you might like this, you might like this, try them all, whatever. So in the beginning, like, how did you decide what you were good at? Did you try a little bit of everything? Did you already know ahead of time, nope, these are the services I'm going to offer? Did anyone ever ask you to do something that was outside of your strength, and like, how did you handle that? I would love to like have kind of that discussion. Does anybody have like I have a story about that?
Yes to all the questions.
Yeah.
I tried a little bit of everything. I mean, I knew what I had experience in, right? We all know what we've done, but what my strengths were, I was completely directionless because of my life, what it had been up to that point. And so part of it is working through the modules. We get to try each of those things for our own business. And so when it got to creating, the marketing piece and creating social media posts and all of that stuff, I'm like, I hate this. Like, I don't want to touch this. So even though, there's a piece that has to happen on my side, I was really quickly like, yeah, this is not for me. But so yes, I tried a little bit of everything. And very early on, I made it really, once I knew, okay, for sure not marketing stuff, I just made it a part of my discovery calls when I do them, to just say, this is not my strength. These are not services that I provide. If that's something that you anticipate needing, I can help you find someone, or you can go on your own and find someone, but let's like draw the line here. Not what I do.
So good.
I really want to speak to that. When I started my business, I found so much. I learned so much about myself. So, before, when you're in this corporate world, or when you're a stay-at-home mom, that's sort of how you identify as. That's what, you identify your strengths in those worlds. But as a business owner, I find that when you're going through the motions, and when you're in those lows and when you're on those highs, you learn so much about yourself. So when you're going and starting your VA business, you might think your strengths are one thing, but as like Liz was saying, once you try all the things and you see what you like and what you don't like, you actually learn so much, not just about the services you want to offer, but as yourself, as a business owner, and as a person. So it's not just a journey to starting your business, but truly finding your freedom life as yourself, as your true self, and stepping into that person.
I love that. I'm a big fan of the book Strength Finders. It's like a test and a book. And by doing the Strength Finders test, you figure out your top 5 strengths. And so I was talking to like my counselor, and he was saying that, it's actually like the secret. It's like if you know what your strengths are, and then you find a profession or you create a business that the majority of your time is spent just doing your strengths, it's literally like, oh, this is the secret to happiness. Like you really are like more happy when you are just doing things you're good at, because for the majority of the time, if it's your strength and you're good at it, you also enjoy it. It's like we were built this way, And so when you're literally doing the things you were built to do, you find more fulfillment too. So I do think that's a big part of it, is kind of discovering, what do I like doing? What do I not like doing? And I think that is a big part of it. Tiffany or Bree, did you have anything to add?
I'd love to actually piggyback on what you just said about loving the things that you're good at. I actually have found that isn't always true, especially with like systems and stuff. Like, yeah, I'm really good at certain things. Like I have a background in event management, and I always thought I loved events, but it wasn't the events. It was the details. It was the list, the system behind it. And I'll be honest, I made a lot of mistakes to get to like honed in exactly where I am. Like I did not do what Liz did. I was like listening to Liz saying, I don't do that. And I was like, oh man, I wish I could have done, which, I've had a bunch of clients that I was like, that was a terrible fit. That was a mistake. I invested in a mastermind. That was a lot of money. That was a totally wrong fit. It was terrible. It was also marketed terribly and it's kind of a scam, but that's a whole different story for a different day. But I realized very quickly that like the mastermind that I was investing in was not the direction I wanted to go in. But that was like, what everyone was doing. So I was like, oh, I could do that. Like, I'd be really good at that because I have the skills. I actually read a book. It's called, and I looked it up so I could remember, The Big Leap by Guy Hendricks. It's a little bit name droppy and kind of misogynistic, just a slight, but the points in his book like are really good, that like you have your zone of genius and then you have your zone of excellence. And it's really different where like your zone of genius is like what you love to do, what lights you up. And there's also like a sub tier of that where like, yeah, you could be really good at it and you like doing it, but like, do you have to do it? Probably not. So like that's really helped me in my mentality of like, I don't have to do all the things just because I'm good at them. I want to do this one thing and that's what I'm going to do.
That's
good. Only specific softwares now because I can't, like as a systems person, I can't. People are like, oh, I want to build this. And I'm like, that's great. I don't work in Trello. Like I don't have the time or the capacity to learn a system just to build it. Like I only build in specific softwares now, just because that is my zone of genius. And that's what I like to use. And I have very, very strong feelings about certain softwares.
I'm really curious what software you love.
I love Airtable. I'm an Airtable girl all the way. It's literally my saving grace. It's what I love, and ClickUp. One software I will say that I absolutely can't stand is Typeform. Just can't do it. And I've had so many people come and be like, can you build me a Typeform? I'm like, nope. If you put it somewhere else, I'd be happy to.
That's awesome.
But yeah, that zone of genius versus zone of excellence is actually it's a really cool concept. And it's a really short book. It's like 5 hours, something like Audible.
Oh, nice.
But it's a good one.
Everyone write it down. Yeah. Tiffany, I'm curious kind of somebody asked, like starting out, should you do all the things until you get enough clients to pick and choose, or should you pick and choose from the beginning?
Oh my goodness. This is the perfect question for me, because this is the biggest mistake I made, because I was like, oh my gosh, you want a discovery call and now you want to move forward. I can send you a contract and you're going to hire me. I'm going to work from you. And so like I took on all of the clients doing all of the things, and spoiler alert, I was miserable because I didn't enjoy half of it. I wasn't in alignment with the client. A lot of the time it wasn't a good fit. I was just taking them on. I had one client that really wasn't a good fit. I actually had to fire them, which is an okay thing to do in your business. So then once I stopped doing that and I started really looking for the clients that were asking for tasks that I love doing and I can talk so passionately about, that's when it all came together. And that's when my business kind of lit off by wildfire. And it all started to come in because I really put all of my energy into just looking for those clients and really getting my skills with that and moving forward with those tasks that I love to do. I love social media. I can talk to you all day about it. If you want to have a talk with me about hashtags, let's go. I can do 45 minutes on hashtags. So once I can get going on that, like, hi, it's perfect. I love it. And I was actually working the other night and I was like, I can't believe I get paid for this because I love it so much.
That makes me really happy.
Yeah. So it's so tempting. I get it because you invested your money in the course. You want to make your money back, but don't just take any client. You're going to make yourself miserable and it'll make you question why you started your business. So definitely look for the ones that you want to do.
I agree with that. I think that so anytime that you have that feeling in your gut that you're like, I don't think this is going to work, even if they want to hire you, like follow that. Like that is never that like that internal check that you're like, I don't think this is I don't think I'm going to work well with this person. 100%. I think that sometimes people in the beginning, the only time that I would say to like, try, to say yes to any client, again, this is excluding the people that you have just a check with, is if you really have no idea. Like sometimes people go in and they're like, I don't know what I like. I don't know what I'm good at. I don't know all of that. And so sometimes you want to try like some projects. And in that case, I would really suggest if you're going to go that route and you're like, I'm going to say yes to like a bunch of different clients just to test and see what I like, I would suggest either doing project-based work at the beginning, like I'm going to try to build a Squarespace website. I'm going to try to do a 3-month Pinterest overhaul and like time, like put a time bound on it. That way you're like, can try a couple different things. If you decide to go that path, or even if it's like general VA services, hey, like let's just do a 30-day package. At the end, we'll see if this is a good fit. And that way your client knows ahead of time that like at the end of this 30 days, we'll both see if it's a good fit. If not, we can part ways. I think that would be my only like caveat to that is like, if the only reason I wouldn't do that is if you're just like, I don't even know what I like. And it's okay if you disagree with me too, but that would be my only like, yeah. Cause in the beginning, I was like, I'm just going to say yes to everyone. Now, did I have to fire some people? Yep, I did. But it was like, I don't know if I would have known what I was good at and what I wasn't good at unless if I had said yes to a few people. So I think it's like a double-sided coin kind of.
That's what I did. I started in general VA and I really did, like I did the typical like general VA, social media management, like this almost like the standard starter package. And I really kind of figured out like, okay, I don't think I've had a client I've niched down in my systems and what I'm doing, but I haven't niched down as far as like clients. Like every single one of my clients is in a completely different industry. So I've learned a ton of different things and like what I like to do, what I don't. And that was how I honed in. I'm like, okay, well, this is great. And then if I tried a little bit, I'm like, I don't like that path. Let's go this way. And it kind of is like, almost like when you're driving in a car and you're like, just kind of auto-correcting just a little bit, like, okay, let's get on this straight path to where we want to go. Like each client, each mistake, each service that you're doing, whatever, you can kind of, it auto-corrects you to where you actually want to be. And you can always say, like, if you get 6 months down the road with a client and you're like, I don't like to do this anymore, you can be like, hey, I don't offer this service anymore, but here's what I do offer if you're interested, or I can refer you to someone else. It's like you don't have
just did that today.
You don't have to fire clients because they're terrible. Like if you just really don't like doing it, even though you have loyalty to them, like if you don't want to do it anymore, it's your business.
Yep. But I do agree with Tiffany. Once you make that decision, like don't keep saying yes if you know you're going to hate it, because you will end up hating what you're doing. It's like once you found that line, I don't do this, man, unless if you're, I guess if you're just really strapped for cash. But
Right. I was going to chime in because that was me, right? Strapped for cash. And I was like, which do I like less? Working with this client, doing a thing I don't like, or being homeless?
Yeah.
Like, and that's reality, you know, and I'm very much a realist. And that's where I was going to chime in and say, my hesitation, if someone is asking me the question directly, is what's the alternative, right? So if you don't take the client, what's the alternative outcome? And which one do you hate the least? Like sometimes that's real, but when we go into those situations, we go into them with a plan. Like, here's what I'm going to do to make sure that I can stop servicing this client as soon as possible.
Yeah. That's a good point too. Like if you have to say yes, even if it's something you hate, like give yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
We've all done work we hate for people we don't love, right? Like,
yeah, but I agree. Like once you know that and you have the ability like financially to say like, you know, nope, I'm not doing this, and don't go back on it. Do not go back on it because you will end up hating that work. Hey, I wanna share something really quick, you guys, because we've got like less than 15 minutes until our weekend bonuses end. And so I'm just gonna actually I'm gonna take everyone off the screen and I'll bring you back on because I want to make sure everyone can see like my full screen. Just because we've had some questions like come up in our chat in like our people chatting over here. We have chat support, if you don't know, on our sales page. So if you go to SavvySystem.com, this is like our whole, it tells you everything about the course, everything that you're getting, right? And we do have some weekend bonuses that are ending in the next like 12 minutes. So I just wanted to give them management hacks training, a Trello for virtual assistants training, a social media savvy content calendar. So it's essentially like if you're like I hate social media, this tells you what to post. It's a content calendar for your business. And our personality webinar bundle, which talks about being bold in your business, VA tips for introverts, Enneagram for VAs, right? So all of these are included if you purchase in the next 12 minutes, okay? So again, the course itself is a step-by-step course, over 100 lessons, the templates that you need, the contracts that you need, everything, that business in a box. But these weekend bonuses are going away, you know, at 1 o'clock, which is in the next 11 minutes. So I just wanted to emphasize that because if you're on the fence, come in, snag these weekend bonuses, and we do have money back guarantees. So I think that's one of the big things too that I want you guys to be aware of is that I get it. There's like kind of two fears that people have when they're jumping in. One is like, do I have what it takes, right? And I think that that's why we're here, is to talk about like the personal fears that we had, how we struggled through getting to know our services, learning things that we didn't know before, right? There's the, do I have what it takes? But then there's the like, hey, is this course legit? And like, I get that, right? Like, and I think that you should be skeptical. You don't want to be like Bree and spend a bunch of money on something that you're like, well, that was a waste, you know, which is why we do a money back guarantee. There's other people in our industry who have cut that, and we will always have that because I believe that you deserve to come in and see what you're getting before you 100% commit to it. So if you're interested and you want to get these extra weekend bonuses, just make sure that you join in the next 10 minutes. Okay. I just wanted to throw that out there just in case anybody was still like on the fence. Okay. That's all I had. I'm going to bring all the ladies back up now. I'm like, I just don't want it to be like, you know, 1 o'clock and people are like, oh crud, I missed it. And I'll throw this up here too. And if you guys do have specific questions about your unique situation, our whole team is on chat over there as well. So you guys can ask those questions there, or you can ask us too. We're here. This is live. And one of the questions is, do new Savvy students get access to these? Yeah, so we don't penalize people for joining early. So SavvySystem will get like an email for anyone who's joined up until this point, we'll get an email telling you how to get access to those again. One of the questions was about books. Someone was like, what's the name of that book? I actually, I'd love to hear from you guys, any like business books that you've read that you've really enjoyed. I don't know if has there been any like
there are so many.
So many. Okay, like top 3 business books.
Go ahead, Liz. Just the one that I mentioned, if that's what you're asking, is The Big Leap by Guy Hendricks. is take it with a grain of salt. He talks a lot about all the celebrities that he knows, but like the nuggets are good. I promise. That's the one that's been really good mindset wise for me. And then I have a 2.5-year-old in pregnancy brain, and I don't get to go through full books. So I do more podcasts than books. So I'm going to step back after that one.
What were you going to say, Liz?
I read Essentialism.
So good.
Who wrote that? Is it Greg?
Greg McKeown.
There you go. Yeah, I don't know how you say his name, but yes, that was a phenomenal. I'm actually scrolling back through my Audible collection because I'm like, I've read so many. Abby, somewhere you recommended Atomic Habits, right? Was that you? Yeah, that was a really phenomenal book also, especially around the habits, right? Figuring out what we do. The role I serve is more strategic operations, but that's something that's become for me. And part of that was like Gino Wickman and rocket fuel and the whole concept around like partnering. Because of my personality, I recognize that what I really love is helping. And so that I think that anything can be tied up in a business like this. And that's the giant win, right? Anything can be tied up. SavvySystem gives you what steps to take to build your own little pathway.
Yeah, so, for sure.
Yeah, I think
rocket fuel is one of my top ones too. Yeah. Susie says, I was going to suggest Essentialism, and she said how to say it, and I still don't know.
Thank you.
McKeown?
I think it's McKeown.
McKeown? Oh, would I that would like, I think I've been saying it wrong for like 5 years. I don't know, the book's been out for 5 years.
I actually have a question for the ladies too.
Yeah. Oh, wait, hold on. I don't want to miss if Tiffany had a book.
I will be honest. I listen to more podcasts. I read a ton of books, but none of them are business related.
That's okay. And you don't need to. You've got SavvySystem. You're good. You don't
That's
need
right.
McKeown. She's like, let me spell it out better. Thank you, Susie. You're saving us. Okay. Yes. What was your question, Melanie?
So, okay. A lot of people ask, how soon am I going to get clients? Am I able to get clients? So I'd actually love to know from each of you, how soon after joining the SavvySystem did you land your first client?
That's a good question.
Are we going in the same order? Sorry.
I'm like,
go with 3.
Let's see. I specifically remember, because I wrote it down on my calendar, that I joined. I may have joined beginning of July, and then I remember I started I got my EAN and my LLC July 14th, and then I signed my first client August 1st, and that was from. It pays the sending out, putting the social posts out, sending out the emails to your network, family, friends, whatever. The person that read my first client, I posted on LinkedIn, and she was a person that I used to work with. She was a part-time event person at the company that I used to work for. And she was like, hey, I've actually been looking for someone just to help me with a couple things. I know your work ethic. I know you're good at what you do. So I'd love to get you on. That way I don't have to go through an interview process and hire people. So tap into the network that you have, whether it's family, friends, old colleagues, whatever. Those marketing, those big pushes that, Abby makes you do, which are good pushes.
You hate them.
Those are so you're really good if you do them though, right?
It's like a personal trainer. You have to have somebody that's going to push you to do the thing you don't want to do because you know it's going to make you better, right?
Yeah. But then you can check it off your list.
Yes. I want to finish answering this question, but we've got a few questions related to the course that I want to rapid fire answer, because I know there's a few people probably on the sales page I want those weekend bonuses, but I need my question answered. So the weekend bonuses end in 6 minutes. So I want to make sure that I answer these questions really quickly. Linda asked, can we begin with the less expensive package and upgrade to the ultimate? So there's 3 packages, essentially: Light, Pro, and Ultimate. Light is self-study. You're just getting the course, but it's everything. It's the step-by-step lessons. It's all the templates. It's the contract. So it is the meat. You can be successful. It just doesn't include the community aspect. Okay. So, and we do live trainings in the community, and you get lifetime access to that with Pro. If you at any point want to join the community after Light, email us in, and we do have some options for essentially upgrading, right, from Light to Pro. So I wanted to throw that out there. Now, Pro to Ultimate is a little bit trickier because what happens is Ultimate, so Light is just the course, Pro is course and community. Ultimate is course, community, and all of our tech trainings, right? So Savvy Vault is our tech membership. Now, during this launch period, which somebody asked is when is the next launch? It's January. During this launch time is when you can get lifetime access to all three, the course, the community, and the tech training. And so we actually only do that really during launch. So, but you still have options to get the tech training. So normally the tech training is $47 a month, but SavvySystem members get it for $37 a month. So if you ever wanted to get the ultimate, you essentially would just go into the like the monthly or the annual of that. Okay. Or you could just say, hey, I just want a few of these courses. I don't want all of them. I'm just going to join for like 3 months, do it, and then leave, which is what people do sometimes. Although most people who come in stay in because they really like the tech training. So I will mention that those are the different options. And so can you upgrade from Pro to Ultimate? Not necessarily, because we can't like give you lifetime access and retro, whatever. But you still have the option to get the tech trainings. I hope that makes sense. My budget is tight. Do you have a discount throughout the year? So this, honestly, it's only available now and July. We actually just introduced the Light. So that Light is the best option. The Light and the monthly plan is $97 a month. So if you think of it this way, if your rate is $30 an hour, one client paying for 1 hour a week would pay for the cost of the course. And most of your packages are going to be more than 1 hour a week, right? And so that becomes, I know when money is tight, and I'm not one of these people that's like, I literally had a coach once that said, like, you just need to go to the bank and get a loan and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, no, like, that's not me. Like, if you personally are like, hey, I'm comfortable using a credit card, I'm not going to tell you not to do that. But like, my goal is never to put someone in a financial hardship to take the course, right? But if you're like, all right, that I can swing that first $97 payment, possibly even that next one, and I'm just going to freaking book it, and I'm going to work my booty off to get a paying client by that third payment or whatever. That's what so many people do. And I will say, one of the questions also was, if you do the payment option, do you get the entire Savvy system and can you pay in full at any time? And the answer is yes. So you get full access. It's not like if you do the monthly payment that it's any different, the content you're getting. It's just that payment is spread out over 12 months instead of one. So you end up paying a little bit more, right? But what's cool is that if you pay in the first 6 months, you say, hey, I want to pay off my whole balance, we'll actually give you, like, because I think the $997, for example, ends up being like somewhat over $1,000. I don't remember, honestly, what 97 times 12 is. You guys can add it up. But if you pay in the first 6 months, we'll let you pay it off at that $997 price. So that's something that we get it. Most people do payment options, and that's fine. You know, it's less people pay in full than pay upfront, because I get it. It's a hefty price. But
I just want to confess that I donated plasma to pay off my Savvy system.
That's awesome. You're like, I'm gonna do what it takes.
That's real big.
And Linda, we don't have any active coupon codes right now. That was another question. Okay, we're back. We've got like 1 minute till those bonuses in. We're good though. Let's keep chatting.
That payoff to like get the $997 though, that's a huge, and at least for me, that was a huge push, because I put mine on my credit. I put it on my personal credit card, that because like my husband was like, I don't think this is gonna work. Jokes on him. I didn't even tell him I signed up. Like, I put it on my card. He doesn't have access to, like, I was like, I'm just going to do this. And I think I got to like month 5 and I was like, I can pay off the rest. And like, that is such a huge push. So like, just keep that in the back of your mind. If you're doing monthly plan 2, it's like, yeah, you're paying more, but like, if you can book it, you can do the work, put in the work, try to get it there. And then you can get that not bonus, but you can get that money back almost of paying the $997 instead.
Ruki said, I signed up quickly, didn't have the upgrade options. Just Ruki, just email our team, hello@thevirtualsavvy.com. We'll make sure you're taken care of. Okay. Last question that I would love to ask for any of you. What would you say to somebody, and not even necessarily about the course, but who's just about the fence, who's on the fence about starting a VA business? What would you say to somebody who is just kind of like, I don't know. They're in that limbo zone, that back and forth. You guys know it because you all did it too. That like, do I do this? Do I not? Do I do this? Do I not? Like what would be, what would you say to them? And we can go with Bree first if you want.
Yeah. I'm also a realist like Liz. And so I don't sugarcoat things. But I would say like, if you really like, I never thought that I would have an unlimited, like not unlimited, obviously, like I've worked my butt off. Like I've had a lot of hard months, a lot of, sometimes as an entrepreneur, you work more than you do at a corporate job because you have the time freedom and the money freedom, but you have, also you have the freedom to work literally whenever. And that could be, at 10 o'clock at night. But it is hard. Like it is a hard thing to do. But if you want unlimited potential, you want freedom for your family, you want to create generational wealth and freedom, this is really the best way to do it. And you can do things that you love and be happy in what you do and in your family. And, just it really opens up so many potential options in your life that you wouldn't have if you're just doing like a 9-to-5 and just working for someone else.
100%. Thank you, Bree. Tiffany, what would you say?
I would say if you want things you've never had, you're going to have to do things you've never done before. And you're going to have to get comfortable in the discomfort because you're doing it yourself. Like it's not like a job where you have someone that's telling you what to do. You're doing it yourself and you have to push through those hard parts. And it's really what at the end goal, what do you want? Do you want more time with your family? Because I can tell you, I get so much more time with my son now. I still get the time with my son. I haven't sacrificed any of the daytime time with my son. I primarily, I'll get on meetings and stuff like that, but I primarily do my work at night after bedtime. So I haven't lost time with him and I've gained great income and I can do things with him. Like I took him to his first movie. I didn't have to ask a boss, hey, I need to take a couple hours off. I just did it. So if you want that kind of life, and, I wanted to take a long weekend recently where I didn't work. So I just stayed up and I worked and I got everybody's work caught up. Those are the kind of freedoms you have when you're a VA and you work for yourself and you own your own business. So if that's the kind of life you want, then you need to push through the fears. And I know, trust me, I was terrified. And this is actually pretty funny. But when I originally was watching in January, I don't know how many days you did. I think you did like a week-long course, Abby, for it. And when the price came up, I clicked out of it because I was like, oh, that's never going to happen. I can't do that. That's never going to happen. And then I ended up signing up, like I said before, an hour before it closed. And it was the best decision I've ever made.
That's so awesome. Hey, Lindsay just joined. She said, I missed out last time, just caught the tail end. I'm in. Yay, Lindsay. Hey, guess what? All these ladies are in the community. So you're going to be seeing them in there. That's another cool thing is that you're like literally doing this side by side. People who are successful, who have been there, done that. Liz, what would you say to someone on the fence?
For me, the question was, what kind of life do I want? And is there a better way to get there? And I knew what kind of life I wanted. And this was the best way for me to accomplish that. And yeah, there's so much, I think there's this real tendency to hear things like that in our stories and think like, oh, that could never happen, right? That's not a thing for me. And I'm going to say no, because starting this business has not just been a business journey, but it's been a self-discovery journey. The biggest and best yet so far. I think, rather than looking for excuses or ways it could go wrong, one of the biggest changes in mindset for me is exploring what's the best way this could go. And then just focusing that energy right there.
So good, you guys. Thank you, ladies, so much. Seriously, this has been such a joy. And I hope that anybody listening has gotten, if nothing else, like, I hope that your confidence level of like, you know what, like, yeah, oh, other people have the same fears. Oh, other people like have the same challenges or similar challenges. Like, I'm not in this alone. Like, that's, if there's nothing else, that's what I want you to get from today. So ladies, just thank you for sharing your story, your life, your why, your background, your fears, your celebrations. Like, just thank you so much, because I think there's nothing like just hearing it from the mouths of people who are living it, you know? So I just really appreciate your time today. You guys, thank you so much. Remember, the Savvy System's open up until Friday. So you do still have time. Even if you're like, oh, there's a few more things I have to figure out. The doors close at 10 o'clock Friday. You can go to SavvySystem.com. If there's still those lingering questions, you're like, I didn't really want to ask it in the chat, but I really have to know X, Y, Z. Our team is on, they're on chat right there. Like, you can literally go to the sales page, ask your questions. No question is stupid. It's private, right? Like, you can just ask your question, and we're here to support you. At the end of the day, this is it. This is why we do what we do. Our mission is to make the freedom life possible. And so your freedom life looks different than my freedom life, right? And so you really do, like Liz said, like, what do you want? What does the freedom life mean to you? And could this be the means to get there? If so, take a chance on yourself, invest in yourself, right? And yeah, we believe in you guys. Choose to be bold, action over perfection, be bold, right? That's what we're all about here. So thank you again, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.